Sanibonani bafowethu nabo dadewethu. I was taking a walk today with my last born son, Nyanga, Luna. Unakho, as his mom calls him, Mangaliso. Obviously, wakamlotshwa epasini on his birth certificate, but for me, obviously, I'm moving away from Lesbonga Situmlotshwa, and I want my children to be Abagwa Penuel, as it was before. My son's sick. I think there's a flu, or if you want to call it a corona virus that's going around. I mean, obviously we're getting into winter. It's getting a bit cold. People are spending more time closer to each other. So germs and bacteria and viruses are obviously going to, jump around. So yeah, people have been sick. So guys, please take care of yourselves, of course. Make sure that you're healthy. You're drinking a lot of water. You're having vitamin C. Vitamin C is in your oranges, in your nachos. If you don't mind having lemons, have some hot lemon water with some ginger, with some honey, if possible. Bengicabanga nje isimo samadoda, a very big voice for men, and black men in particular. An American gentleman known as Kevin Samuels passed away today. It was confirmed. I haven't watched a lot of videos of Kevin Samuels. I know my brother Penson is a big fan of him, and a whole lot of other old school men. And funny enough, a whole lot of old school women. Big fans of Kevin Samuels because he was a straight shooter, straight talker. And in an age where a lot of women are speaking about toxic masculinity, a lot of women are speaking about feminism, a lot of women are talking about men as no good and useless. That guy was speaking up for men, and he was holding women accountable that if you say you want a man with money, a man that's educated, a man who can provide, what are you bringing to the table? Do you deserve such a man? What are you doing with your life? So I believe he was a great voice for men out there who have felt oppressed by women, but more particularly by the system that has been getting women to bash their men and add to the toxicity of the dynamic between men and women and the gender fights that are unnecessary. So rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. A lot of people didn't like Kevin. They felt he was the face of toxic masculinity, and he spoke down to women and he bashed women, and he was defending the rubbish of men and making men not be held accountable for their weaknesses and their failures. So he was quite a polarizing figure. I've spoken before about how I admire Mapuno, Afrikaans people in this country, and they haven't lost their conservative nature. Afrikaans men still raise their sons to speak with a deep manly voice, which I don't necessarily have, because my father was a great storyteller, and why ne voice ebuyiphakame futhi nje mayisijabulile nje azumlotshwa kwakuphakamizwa khulume, and I found myself having to work on having a deeper, more masculine voice, because I think it's fundamentally important. A lot of Afrikaans men don't believe in men shaving their legs. They think it's a feminine trait. They call their sons morphies if they do that. Morphy is a slang. Not slang, it's a slur. It's a derogatory term for homosexuals, because old school Afrikaans men in particular are very homophobic. But they've kept it real. The boys play rugby. The manne braai. They go hunting with their fathers. They drink beer. A lot of the Afrikaans boys, their first taste of alcohol is with their fathers. They drink with their fathers at a certain age. They learn to drive with their fathers. They taught how to provide. And in by and large, they've kept the family structure quite intact. For black men, it's been very sad because black men have been infiltrated by colonization and by globalization and westernization, which has kind of killed it for black men and black families in particular. And I was just thinking that, we need to bring back some of these elements. And it's not just for men, it's for masculine people. This includes masculine women. And when I speak about masculine women, I'm not speaking about women that have deep voices, women that have a beard, facial hairs, women that love lifting weights. I'm talking about women who are dominant in the household, who have to provide, who have to take on the responsibilities that are masculine-esque, who are not so much nurturers but more providers and protectors. We need to bring back some of these things. A lot of men don't have money, but you can still provide. Your physical presence in a home as a man means you become the security guard. So you provide security. You spending time speaking to your children, telling them how you grew up, imparting certain knowledge and certain skills means you now provide education for your children. Without money, taking your children to a piece of land, teaching them how to plant seeds, teaching them how to tend to whatever they've planted and harvest and cook and eat what they've grown themselves, what they've sown and what they've harvested. That now means you become a provider of food, teaching them how to raise chickens, how to collect eggs, how to look after goats and cows, etc. You become a provider of so many things as a man, even if you don't have money. You can go and stand in queues at a clinic, when your child is sick, like my boy is sick now. I've got 4 boys, 4 amazing boys, Kunzmalanga, Zulu, Shaga, and then Nyanga. And then I've got 2 very amazing baby girls, Africa no Nkanyezi. But in particular, my last born, my 4th boy, Nyanga, Sghubhu. Sghubhu, what an aggressive young man, is sick. And, as a man, you can go stand in the queues, public clinics, public hospitals, and get medication for your child, for Intwana yakho or your beautiful daughter out there. Teach them, Try and find yourself again. We have lost so much in our identity, in our worth, in our dignity, especially as men, especially as masculine women who have to carry the family. Don't let television, the media, materialism, capitalism make you weaker. Focusing on stupid holidays like Valentine's, Mother's Day, Women's Day, buying flowers, candlelit dinners. We have to get to work. We've got so much work to do. We've got so much unlearning and relearning to do. Learning again how to grow food. Learning how to grow our own herbs and create our own medicines. Learning how to do things with our hands. Saw a tweet yesterday, a great tweet, which was saying, take time out to do online courses. Educate and upskill yourself. And I commented on that tweet and I said, not only on online courses, but do physical courses out there as well. Go and learn how to plumb. To be a plumber rather, how to do plumbing. Go and learn how to do electrical work. Go and learn how to do mechanical work, fixing a car, servicing a car. Learn how to slaughter an animal. We've lost some of these things as we live in the suburbs and we become weak and we end up idolizing and worshipping what we call real men or real women that can grab a chicken and not chop its head off with a knife or an axe, but who can rip the head off with their bare hands. We need to get calloused hands, where our hands are strong from hard work. My video is getting darker and I apologize. I think maybe I should end it soon. But we need to find ourselves again, my daughter. We've lost our dignity and we've lost leaders, and it's up to you to be the king in your home. Doesn't matter how big a celebrity is. Doesn't matter whether it's a president of a country or a king of a nation who's coming to your home. That person must know that in your shack, in your RDP, in your 4-room house, in your standalone house, in your flat somewhere, in your mansion, you are the king of that domain. You and your woman, or if you're a woman, you and your man, you are the king and the queen there. If a president comes there, they must sit on the floor. They must respect you. That's your space. You must dominate. Your kids must know that you're the greatest living being on the planet. They can idolize other people out there. They can idolize Penuel the Black Pen, but they must know that my father is a champion. My mom is a queen. And I know that they are kings in their domain. And even if Penuel the Black Pen is in that space, Penuel the Black Pen will get on his knees and first ask my mom and my dad to be in that space and respect them and be beneath them. We need to find ourselves again. Our families need us. Our women need us, my daughter. Women, some of your men need you because some of the men are lost. They don't know what to do and other men are leading them astray, and it's up to you, especially because you're going to be raising sons. Raise strong sons. Teach them good. You must speak up. You mustn't just cry for soft things. You must protect us in this family. You must lift the heavy things. You must be the dog of this family and be our security. You must be the donkey of this family and work. And then demand of us as women to rise up and hold your hands and work with you. The last thing I'm going to say is this. If children were assets, we would want to accumulate as many of them as possible. But because our children have now become liabilities who suck money from us for school, for medical aid, for PlayStation and Xbox and all this other rubbish, we can only limit ourselves to 1 or 2 children. Turn your children into assets. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett turned their children, Willow and Jaden, into assets that made money for the family. Other families send their kids to go and work in the fields, to go and herd their livestock. Turn your children into assets and make as many babies as possible and turn them into your employees. Turn them into your soldiers. Turn them into an extension of you so that your life becomes easier. That's how it was in Africa. That's how it was in the world. And if you're going to be a polygamist, polygamy is an overarching term for a person that has more than one wife or more than one husband. Polygyny is where a man has more than one wife. Polyandry is where a woman has more than one husband. The reason you would accumulate more than one wife is because you need help. You need people to help you build a strong home. The reason a woman, for example, needs more than one husband is because she needs assistance. She needs more than one man who is going to carry the home and help her build an empire because she is a strong warrior. And she needs more than one man who is going to help her build the great empire that she wants. I love you guys very much. Take care of your health. Take care of your mental health. Understand that life is not meant to be easy. Life is meant to be hard. And become as strong and as resilient as possible and become a machine that society can count on when there's fire burning, when there's barbarians at the gate, when no one knows who to turn to. They must turn to you because you're a warrior. Penuel the Black Pen. I love you guys very much. Have a great weekend.